Hi there, it's Jo here for my 5.5 week update. So I'll go through sort of my stats and then what I'm eating and what I'm thinking and feeling, which is sort of becoming my trend, I think. Okay, so first my stats. I, as of last Wednesday, was at 5.5 weeks. I missed my 5-week update. I was actually camping, but I'll talk a little bit more about that. So my surgery date, May 21st, I was at 250.4. At week 4, I was at 226.1. And then as of returning from camping last Wednesday at 5.5 weeks, I was at 219.7. So that is a total of 30.7 pounds down from surgery and 6.4 pounds in 1.5 weeks between week 4 and 5.5. So super excited for a few reasons. So number one, I had a goal of getting down under 220 by 4th of July, which was something going on the vertical sleeve talk boards. And I thought it was actually fairly aggressive. So super excited that I actually passed the goal 1 week beforehand. So awesome that I lost weight during the camping trip, and actually like one of my biggest weight losses so far from like the first week. And so awesome about like the 4th of July goal. And then for me, really cool because I can kind of look back at my weight. I actually have, like, you won't be able to see the detail, but a sheet of paper that has like my weight from 2012 all the way back to 2000. I'm a little neurotic with like information. So if those of you haven't figured out, I'm a little bit type A organized, so this is an example of that. So I've actually been like crossing out the weight as I've been passing it. So this actually puts me mostly back in like mid 2008. I hit 219 very briefly in 2009, so I feel like I'm going back in time, so that's really cool. So that's kind of the stat stuff. Before I get into eating and kind of thinking and feeling, I definitely like been getting comments then in the last week about my weight loss. A couple of guys, actually, friends that didn't know I had surgery, commented on it, which, you know, they would never notice anything. Like, I could walk in naked, bald, and they'd be like, something different with you? So that was sort of like, I was quite pleased that they noticed. I ended up telling both of them, and they were like, aha, that makes sense now. But then at work, like comments about, oh, you look refreshed, and a couple people that know, saying my face looks thinner, which I actually posted about on my blog. I posted some pictures of my face over time. You can see that at gastricsleeve4me.blogspot.com. It's gastric sleeve, the number 4 me. Same as my YouTube channel name. So that's really cool. So that's been going on. All right, so what I'm eating, pretty much like I'm finding some staples of mine that I'm liking. All the recipes are on my blog if you want to see them, so like see pictures, nutritional information. Really still liking my bites, especially the buffalo chicken ones, which were like a huge hit when I was camping. And then refried bean cupcakes I'm really enjoying too, which are on my blog. It's kind of similar to what emilybites.com does with the wonton wrappers. I do a little bit of refried beans in there. They reheat really well. On the camping trip, I did a lot of like protein shakes, snacking on kind of cheese sticks and like lunch meat, like turkey and cheese stuff. But then I also had been like experimenting with the wonton wrappers, which I'm really liking. I did a couple of days just like tuna and a little bit of cheese in a wrapper, folded and grilled. Like in a skillet. It was really good. And actually when I couldn't eat it all, I saved it, it reheated really well in the skillet too. So, so camping like food went well. The only thing I would say, I had a really hard time not a hard time, I didn't notice I wasn't getting enough calories. So when I wasn't paying attention and tracking every day and just sort of relying on like memory, I was barely getting in 400 calories a day. This happened for a few days before I really noticed it because I kind of sat down and like grabbed my phone, which had no service. I hadn't had reason to use it, and sat down and plugged in like what I had been eating based on memory. And man, I was short. And short on protein too, which those of you who have seen any of my other videos or read the blog, like I'm usually pretty neurotic about. And I typically get like no less than 80 grams. A couple days like, I was barely getting 300 calories and like 40 grams. So that was just a little bit of a lesson learned that like I really can't at this point like rely on my stomach to say, hey, time to eat. I really have to be diligent about eating, you know, my 4 or 5 times a day. My nutritionist had some good advice about saying, you know, really just have like the same plan every day from a timing perspective. Like you do your thing in the morning, you do a mid-morning, you do an afternoon, etc. Because my days are almost like never the same. I don't have a real kind of 9 to 5 job. I mean, I have a career, but like some days I might be in a meeting at 6:30 in the morning and have a call at 8 p.m. that same night. You know, other days I might not make it into the office until 10 a.m. Sometimes I work from home, sometimes the office. So really just trying to be consistent no matter what my circumstances are. So that was like a good lesson learned. Okay. So, one last thing on eating. So a friend of mine and I experimented with making pizza using an oatmeal crust, like just ground oatmeal, not oat flour, like actually ground oatmeal instead of regular pizza dough. And it came out so good. I've needed some actually a little bit more carbs. Try to never go over 30, but I most days barely get over 10. So, and have had some low energy days. So that recipe is on my blog as well at gastricsleeveforme.blogspot.com if you're interested. They came out really good. I made some mini ones in like a muffin top pan if you haven't seen those. So anyway, there's pictures and stuff. Okay, thinking and feeling. So I made myself a couple of notes when I got back from camping. I was kind of back in my routine about things that like I needed to keep an eye on. One was eating to discomfort. I found myself doing that sort of more times than I like. For me, it's not, I've never gotten to the point of like wanting to feel sick or any of that, but it's that stuffed feeling, which, you know, I just don't enjoy. And so I feel so good when I just eat enough to just feel satisfied, meaning like I'm done and I'm not really feeling it. And I've noticed a couple times like still just wanting or consuming without realizing like more than I really need. And so, you know, I think part of that is like wanting to get in all the calories or like trying to, I don't know, get in more carbs, like pick your thing. But really just needing to like pull back on that and just be okay with like eating, you know, 2 tablespoons of something and being satisfied. But trying to find ways to keep the calories up to not be like nutritionally deficient. So, so that was one. I probably need to cut down on the cheese a little bit. Like in terms of protein, I do well, but I probably need to start substituting like the cheese for some, or fattier proteins for like leaner proteins. So trying to just kind of incorporate more like lean meats, instead of really relying heavily on like cheese for snacks. I just really like it, and it's something I always ate before. It's probably a little habitual. So that was a note. And then looking back at my food logs, like I'm really consuming a lot in the latter part of the day. And when I say latter, I mean like after 5 or 6 p.m. I'm probably getting sometimes 2/3 or 3/4 of my calories, which is a bit of a poor habit that I had before of just being sort of fine and normal during the day and then consuming a lot at the end. I just don't, well, that's a pattern I want to break. So I've been conscious of that and trying to actually like front load more of my calories in the morning. And my nutritionist was quite supportive of that as well. So anyway, I am nearing a longer video. I will stop for now. That's my 5.5 week update. I'll tell you more when I get to week 6 on Sunday. So I hope that everyone's doing well. I'm feeling good about everything. You can check out the blog and see some photos and things, and maybe you comment if you think my face is looking thinner too. I'll take any and all compliments. So anyway, I hope you're great, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.